Hello everyone. Welcome to another lecture on reasoning ability and problem solving. In today's lecture, we will do problem solving and analysis and we will discuss some practice questions. We will basically look at questions from logical grid. So let us start by question number 1. So over here we are given a logical grid. So when we discussed logical grid, I told you that there could be three possibilities or three kind of logical grid questions that you can get. The first was a 3 into 3 logical grid. That means 3 rows and 3 columns. Correct? Then the next possibility was a 4 into 4 logical grid. That means 4 rows and 4 columns. Or you could get a 4 into 3 logical grid. That means 4 rows and 3 columns or 3 rows and 4 columns. Okay, so these are the possible type of questions that you can get from logical grid. Now over here we are given a 3 into 3 logical grid. That means 3 rows and 3 column. Column 1, column 2 and column 3. So how do we approach the question for logical grids? Now basically the first thing, if you look at first row, is that this number is significantly bigger than the other two numbers. Similarly, this number is bigger than the other two numbers. So I am assuming that certain operations are being carried on these numbers to get this number. Correct? This is how I am interpreting the question. So I am assuming that we are going horizontally. Now logical grids are solved two types. Either we go horizontally or we go vertically. This we have already discussed. So I am assuming that we are going horizontally. So let us solve this question. Let me just give them numbers. So column 1, the first element is A, then it is B, then it is C. This is what I'm assuming. Now if I look at this number 12 and 48, I can see there's a clear multiplication of 4. 12 4 times will give me 48. Similarly, when I look at this number 8, I can see clearly that if we multiply it by 3, 8 into 3 will give me 24. Now if I look at 3, 3 is an under root of 9. Similarly, 4 is an under root of 16. So if this is A, this is B, this is C, I can say that under root of A into B is giving me C. This is the logic that I have interpreted, right? Now let us check for row 1. For row 1, under root of 16 into 12, that means 4 into 12 will give me 48. So this is correct. Now let us check for row 2. Row 2, under root of 9 into 8 should give me 3 into 8, which is 24. So first we understood the logic from row 1 and then we confirmed the logic from row 2. Now we'll move forward to row 3. In row 3 again, under root of 4 into 24. So under root of 4 will be 2. 2 into 24 will be how much? It will be 48. So 48 will be my answer. Okay? And 48 is given in option number 1. So option number 1 will be your correct answer. Clear? Now, you can note down the solution from here. This is your solution. Now let us move on to question number 2. Question number 2, again 3 rows are given to us. Here also I can see that this number is bigger than the first two numbers. And also this number is bigger than the first two numbers. So I am assuming that certain operations will be carried on these numbers to get the third number. This is my interpretation. Now let us try to solve. This is A, this is B, and this is C. I can see that 26 and 60, if I consider this 25 and if I consider this 60, maybe we have to add a number close to 35 to get 60. Clear? And if I look at 17 2 times is 34. So almost near to 35. Now let us check over here. 15 and 30 means I have to add some number close to 15. And 8 into 2 times is a 16, which is a number close to 15. This much we all know, right? So maybe let me try to find the logic. So this is A, this is B, and this is C. So if I write A into 2 plus B is giving me C, I am interpreting that this is the logic. Now let us check. So 17 into 2 plus 26. 17 into 2 is how much? 34 plus 26. So this will be equal to 60. Correct? Short way. 30 plus 20 plus 6 plus 4 is 10. So 60. Now this was for row 1. For row 2, let us check. For row 2, 8 into 2 plus 15 should give me 31. So 8 into 2 is what? 16 plus 15 will be how much? 31. So row 1 is correct. Row 2 is also correct. So similarly, we'll find for row 3. Row 3, I can clearly see 11 into 2 plus 19. So this will be 22 and this will be 19. And when we add 22 and 19, we get 41. So 41 will be my correct answer, which is option number 2. Option number 2 is your correct answer. This is the solution. Okay, clear? Let us move on to question number 3. Question number 3, again a question of logical grid. Over here, I can see that these two numbers are slightly comparable. These two numbers are slightly comparable, but this number is slightly smaller than these two numbers. Okay, so 86, 82 is sort of comparable number and 56 is smaller. So I can assume that maybe certain operations are being carried on 86 and 82 to get a smaller number. So whenever we get a smaller number than these initial number, either we are subtracting or we are dividing. Either of the two possibilities, either we are subtracting or we are dividing. So let us check. Let us check for first row, row 1. Row 1, if I add 86 and 82 and I divide it by 3, I'll get how much? This will be 8, this will be 1, 6 and 8, this will be 3. So this will be how much? 3 5s are 15, 1 carried, 3 6 are 18. So 56 will be my answer. Correct? So for row 1, we have identified a pattern. What is the pattern? If this is A, this is B and this is C, the pattern is that A plus B division by 3 is giving me C. This is the logic. Okay. So this we have identified from row 1. Let us check for row 2. Now in row 2, 74 plus 67 divided by 3 should give me 47. So 74 plus 67 will be how much? This will be 1 and this will be 4. 1, 4, 3. This will be how much? 3 4s are 12, 2 carried 7. So 47. So row 2 also this is correct. So similarly we'll do for row 3. For row 3 if I do, row 3 will be 54 plus 48 divided by 3. So this will be how much? This will be 102. Okay, and this is 3. So 3, 3 and 4. So 34 will be your answer and 34 is given in option number 1. So option number 1 is your correct answer to question number 3. Okay, now this is the solution. Let us move on to question number 4. Question number 4, again a 3 into 3 logical grid. Over here, again I can see these numbers are significantly bigger than the first two numbers. So I can assume that certain operations are being carried on these first two elements to get the third element. These are very big. So very big means multiplication. So this I told you that whenever you see a very big jump in numbers, we can assume that we are multiplying the numbers. Correct? Now, let us look at row 1 first. So row 1, I can see that if I multiply 3 into 2, okay. So if I multiply 3 into 2 and I multiply it by 5, I'll get this will be 6 and this will be 5. So 6, 5 will give me 30. So this is the logic that I have devised in row 1. Now, the logic is, if this is A, this is B, and this is C, the logic is that A into B into 5 is giving me C. This is the logic. Okay. Now, let us check if it is true for second row as well. For second row, if I can see 7 into 5 into 5. So 7 into 5 will be 35. And 35 into 5 will be how much? Let us check. So 35 into 5. 5 5s are 25. 5 3s are 15, 16, 17. So 175. It is true. 35 into 5 is giving me 175. So from first row, we found out the order, and row 2 we confirmed. Now let us do the same thing for row 3. So row 3 will be what? 4 into 6 into 5. 6 4s are 24. 24 into 5. So 5 4s are 22 carried. This will be 120. So 120 will be our answer. And 120 is given in option 3. So option 3 will be your correct answer to this question. Question number 4. So here is the solution. You can take a look at it and write it down. Now let us look at question number 5. Over here again, this is a 3 into 3 type of grid. Now when I look at the first row, I can see that this number is significantly bigger than these numbers. Similarly, this number is significantly bigger than these two numbers, right? So whenever I see a significant increase, I mean this is a multiplication, right? We assume that we are multiplying, certain operations are being done. Now, when I look at this number 21 and 124, I can see that if I multiply 21 by 6, I'll get how much? This will be 6, this will be 126. And then I subtract it by 2, I get 124. Similarly, when I look at this number 25 and 148, so when I multiply 25 by 6, and this will be 0, 3 over here, 6, 2, 12, 150, and then I subtract 2, I get 148. Okay, correct? So now here we should get a number, let us say it is x. So x into 6 and subtraction from 2 should give me 220. So 6x will be 220 plus 2, which is 222. So x will be 222 divided by 6. That will be 6. 3s are 18. 4 will be carried 7. So over here x is 37. But now we have found the missing term. We also have 37 in the option. But how are these numbers related? What is the the importance of these numbers? So these numbers should be related in some way to these numbers, because these, if you look at column number, this is column 1, column 2, column 3. So column number 2 is somehow related to column number 3. So column number 1 should also be related to column number 3 in some manner. Now if you look at 9, so over here I can see that 9 into 2 plus 3 gives me how much? It gives me 18 plus 3, that is 22. Sorry, 21. Correct? Similarly, 11 into 2 plus 3, which will be 22, plus 3 will give me 25. So this number is related to this number the same way this number is related to this number. Now let us check for 17. So 17 into 2 plus 3 will be how much? This will be 17 into 2 is 34, plus 3 will give me 37, which was our missing term. So this also holds the same equation with the next number as the above rows. Correct? So this is also a type of question that you can get in logical grid. Now if I want to simplify this question, or write a formula for this question, what I can do is I can write it like this. If this is A, this is B, this is C, I can say that A into 2 plus 3 gave me B, right? And then what we did is this was B, correct? And then we multiplied B by 6 and subtracted it by 2. And this gave me how much? This gave me my C. So this is a actually very complicated way to present things, right? That is why what we do is we find the relation of B to C and we find the missing element, and then we see what is the relation of A to B, and then we find the missing element. Okay, clear? So that is how we arrived at option number 437. So let me do it again quickly just for this row. So just for row 3 I am doing. Okay, so if I follow this logic, okay, 17 into 2 plus 3 multiplied by 6 and subtracted by 2 will give me 220. Let us check. 17 into 2 is how much? 17 into 2 is 34 plus 3 into 6, and this minus 2 will give me 220. So 34 plus 3 will be 37 into 6 minus 2 will give me 220. 37 into 6 is what? 222 minus 2 will give me 220. So LHS equals to RHS. Hence, option number 437 is the correct answer. Clear? How we solve this question? Now, let us move on to the next question, question number 6. So question number 6 is over here, 3 into 3 row. 6, 39 and 124. So over here, I can see that this number is significantly bigger than this number, right? And then this number is significantly bigger than the previous number. So my thought is that maybe we are following the same pattern that we did in the previous question, right? So let us check. Now, if I look at this question, how is 39 related to 124? So I can see that 39 into 3, okay, will give me how much? 7 and 117. If I add 7 into this, I'll get 124. Okay. Similarly, if I look at 74, 74 into 3 will give me how much? This will be 2, this will be 2, 2, 2, plus 7 will give me 2 to 9. So same way this number will be related to this number. So 53 into 3, that is how much? This will be 9, this will be 159, plus 7 will give me 166. So 166 will be my option, which is option number 4. We have found the missing element. So if this is related to this number, if column 2 is related to column 3, so column 1 should also be related to column 2 in some way. Correct? So let us find out. 6 and 39. So if I multiply 6 by 7 and I subtract it by 3, how much I'll get? I'll get 42 minus 3, that will be 39. Similarly, if I multiply 8 by 7 and subtract it by 3, this will be 56. Minus 3 will give me 53. Similarly, over here, if I multiply 11 by 7 and subtract it by 3, this will be 77 minus 3, which is equals to 74. So column 1 is related to column 2 and column 2 is related to column 3. If I have to make one equation for it, it will be very complicated. So one equation will be how much? If this is A, this is B and this is C, it will be A into 7 minus 3 gives me my B. This is my B. Okay. And B into 3 plus 7. So B into 3 plus 7 will give me my C. This is B. Okay. So this is a very complicated statement. So if you get a question like this, just try solving from column 2 and then answer column 3. But also cross check if column 1 bears a similar relationship in all the rows with column 2 as well. So this was question number 6. Okay. Now let us move on to question number 7. So question number 7. In question number 7 again, a 3 into 3 grid. This is a relatively easier question. Over here, I can see that there is a subsequent increase in numbers. 24, then 72, then 120. Similarly, there is a subsequent increase in number. So I can assume that one similar pattern is being followed. Okay, let us try and solve. Now, over here I can see that 12 plus 24 will give me 36. Correct? This is row 1. This is A, B and C. So A plus 24 gives me 36. Similarly, 36 plus 24 will give me 60. And 24 is what? 24 is basically A into 2. Correct? So I can write it that A plus 2A gives me B. And then B plus 2A again gives me C. This is the logic. This is the logic. Now let us check if this is true for row number 2 as well. Okay, so row number 2, 24 plus how much? So 24 into 2 will be 48. 24 plus 48 will give me 72, correct? And 72 plus 48 will give me how much? It will give me 120. So for row 2 also this is correct. A plus 2A gives me B and B plus 2A gives me C. Okay, so now let us check for row 3. If I look at row 3, I can see that 33 plus 33 into 2 is what? Over here, let me write. 12 into 2 was 24. Similarly, 24 into 2 was how much? 48. And similarly, 33 into 2 will be how much? 66. Correct? So 33 into 66 will give me 99. Plus again 66. So 99 plus 66 will give me how much? It will give me 165. So my answer will be option number 4, 165. This will be my correct answer. Okay. So over here we broke down the logic into two parts, first part and second part, and then we solved the question. Okay. Clear? Now let us move on to question number 8. This is your question number 8. In question number 8, again a 3 into 3 grid. Over here I can see these numbers. The middle row, column number 2 is subsequently bigger than the column number 1 and column number 3 numbers. So maybe certain operations are being done on these two numbers to get the middle column. Correct? So let us see. Now, if I say 2 square plus 7 square. So this will be 4 and this will be 49. This will be how much? This will be 53. And I add 4, I'll get 57. Clear? Now let us check for this one also. Over here if I say 6 square plus 3 square. 6 square is how much? 36 plus this is 9. So this is how much? 36 plus 9 is how much? This will be 5. This will be 45. So 45 is very different from 225. So this logic is not correct. Okay, I tried this logic. This logic was true for row 1, but this logic was not true for row 2. So whenever you get a question on logical grid, whatever logic you use to find row 1, do not simply find the answer for third row using that logic. Confirm it with second row at all means. Why? Because something like this can happen. This particular logic seemed okay and it was being followed in row 1, but this logic is not true for row 2. So we have to obtain a logic which is correct for both row 1 and row 2 and then apply it for row 3. So let us try a different logic. Now, if I say 2 cube plus 7 square. So 2 cube is how much? 8 and 7 square is 49. This will give me 57. So this logic is true for row 1. Correct? So logic used is, if this is A, this is B and this is C, the logic that I have used is A cube plus B square gave me C. Okay, this is the logic that I have used. Correct? Now, row 2, second row 2. Okay, for second row, let us check. For second row, if I say 6 cube plus 3 square. So 6 cube is how much? 6 cube is 216 plus 3 square is 9. This gives me 225. So this logic is correct for both row 1 and row 2. That means this is the correct logic. So let us do it for row 3 as well. So for row 3, it will be 5 cube plus 2 square. So 5 cube plus 2 square is how much? 5 cube is 125 and 2 square is 4. So this will give me 129. So 129 will be my answer, which is given in option number 4. So option number 4 will be the correct answer. Clear? This is the solution. So what we did, we first found out a logic, but it was following only for row 1 and not for row 2. So that logic was not correct. So we found out another logic, that is AQ plus B square equals to C. And it followed for all the 3 rows and we found the answer. Okay. Question number 9. This is again a 3 into 3 grid. Over here 9, 34 and 72. So I can see that this number is bigger than 9 and this number is bigger than 34. Similarly, over here 7, 26 and 56, this number is bigger than 7 and this number is bigger than 26. So here looking at this, I can say that maybe certain things are happening in row 1 to get row 2 and certain operations are being done on row 2 to get row 3. Correct? This is how we solved the previous 2 questions also. So let us see how we got row 2 first. So from 9 to 34, it is a very clear thing. 9, if I multiply it by 4 and then subtract 2 from it. So this will be 36 minus 2. This will give me 34. Correct? This is for row 1. Similarly, for row 2, I can say that 7 into 4 minus 2. So 7 into 4 is 28. And if I subtract 2 from it, I'll get 26. So logic follows for this row as well. Correct? Now I can say for row 3 that 23 into 4 minus 2. So 23 into 4 is how much? This is 92. And 92 minus 2 will give me 90. So this logic follows for all the 3 rows. So I can say that if this is A, this is B and this is C, I can say that if I multiply A by 4 and then I subtract 2 from it, I get my B. Clear? Now, if I look at row 1, 34 and 72, I can see that if I multiply 34 into 2 and I add 4 into it. So 34 into 2 will be 8 and 68. And 68 plus 4 gives me 72. So this is row 1. Correct? Now if I check for row 2, I can see that 26 into 2 plus 4. So 26 into 2 is how much? This will be 52. 52 plus 4 gives me 56. So this is correct for row 2 as well. So for I can say that B into 2 plus 4 gives me C. So I have broken down the logic basically into 2 parts. I have broken down my logic into 2 parts. Now let us find this missing element in row 3. So in row 3, it will be how much? It will be 90 into 2 plus 4. This will be row 3. So 90 into 2 plus 4. 90 into 2 is 180 plus 4 gives me 184. So 184 will be the answer to this question, which is given in option number 1. So option number 1 will be your correct answer. Okay. Now let us look at question number 10. Question number 10. Again a 3 into 3 row. 86, 72, 158. So this number is significantly bigger than the other two. 98 and 111 and 209 again bigger, and this. So here if I look at this number, this is near 80 and this is 70. 80 plus 70 gives me around 150. Correct? Similarly, this is 90 and this is 110. So 11 plus 9 gives me around 200. So maybe the numbers are being added. So this is a very simple logic. If this is A, this is B and this is C, we are simply adding A and B to get C. This is a very simple logic. Now let us check. 86 plus 72. This will be 8, this will be 158. Correct for row 1. Okay. For row 2, 98 plus 111. So here it will be 209. Correct for row 2 as well. So let us find for row 3. Row 3 will be 76 plus 65. This will be 1 and this will be 14. So 141 will be the correct answer, which is given in option number 3. So option number 3 will be your correct answer to this question. So this is the solution. You can note it down. And this concludes today's lecture. Thank you.